The end of September is nigh, and that can only mean one thing, and that is the used PC parts hunt of the month here at Tech Yes City. Now, before we get into this month's part hunt, I'm going to tell you guys about my personal experience in the last month, and that is that I've had a lot of success sort of under 1,000 Aussie dollars. So the low end of the market and even to like the mid-range of the market is still kicking along. It's still fine. I think people in this price range aren't really holding out for a graphics card that, at least with the RTX 3080, that's going to cost them a lot of money in Oz at the moment. I think people are trying to resell them for $2,000 just for an RTX 3080. So there is this bit of sort of despair that's come along with the launch of the 3080, and that's the supply problems. But if you picked up an RTX 2080 Super or a 2080 Ti or a 2070 Super last month when they were going pretty cheap, I think you made a good call, because at least you'll be able to game for a few months, because all these problems will be solved in the next few months. It's just a matter of time. And with that, of course, I'm a beta tester at the moment for Nvidia, going on their new graphics cards. So there are a few problems with the RTX 3080, but in time, I think they'll be ironed out. And once they are ironed out, the used market itself will then stabilize, and we'll be able to find where prices are going exactly. But in the meantime, me personally, coming into this month, I'm just going to be hunting those sort of low end to mid-range parts, because I'm just really not moving anything past 1,000 Aussie dollars. Like, I'm sitting on builds for the longest that I've ever been sitting on them, even though I don't have any builds up for sale right now. Previously, I think it took me like 2 weeks just to move one PC, and I was like, damn, this is a really long time. That was a 1080 Ti build that I had up for sale, and I had to drop the price of that just to move it. So things are really weird at the market in terms of pricing and what people are prepared to pay, but I guess that weirdness can be explained by people are holding out for RTX 3000 series cards to come back into stock. And on the flip side, there's also a crunch in the economy as well. So those two factors combined means that anything over $1,000 is going to be harder to move, in my opinion, than it ever was in the last few years. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do coming into this month, I'm going to go back to my grassroots, and this is where the fun is going to start. I'm going to be looking for all those budget parts, whether it's i5s, even first-gen Ryzens, i7s, cheap DDR3, DDR4, power supplies cases, you name it, I need the whole lot. Of course, if something higher end comes through at the right price, I'll take it, but my focus this month is budget parts, because again, I've been having just a lot of success, as not just that too, I've been having a lot of fun on this budget entry market. So with that aside, let's jump on to good old Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace, and I hope you guys have been doing well wherever you are in the world. Let's have some fun and see what deals we can pull up. So starting off with Facebook Marketplace here, we've got 3 potential deals already where the people have replied and they got some pretty good prices. The first being 2 monitors. They look like they're both 22 inches, and at 25 Aussie dollars, I'm okay with that, considering I get them off Les for 35 bucks. If it's not too far of a drive for me, I'll go and get these monitors. Then we've got some DDR4 memory where there's 2 different sets. Someone's got 16 gigabytes of DDR4, another person's got another 16 gig, but in a 2x8 configuration. And I'm just going to pay asking for both of these because they're very good prices for DDR4 memory, where from retail you're going to pay double. So I like the prices of both these. There's also a DDR3 listing for 50 Aussie dollars as well for 16 gigabytes, which I messaged them waiting back to here. But we've potentially got 4, but it looks like we're going to score 3 deals from Facebook Marketplace. In terms of graphics cards and also CPUs, there really wasn't anything available. I mean, someone had a GTX 670 up for sale, and they were saying, well, I want 75 bucks for this. I offered them 40 bucks because, again, a 670 is very old, and if you don't have problems now with it, it's got, 2 years time, probably going to have some problems that go wrong in the next 2 years. So the life frame of this 670 is really like pushing it, even at 75 Aussie. And in terms of the other GPUs out there, I saw a 960 for sale, but I tried to message the guy, it was some error, so he must have sold that already. But the biggest thing with graphics cards right now is that I don't want to pay these overpriced prices on used GPUs, because there's RX 570s for sale for 169 Aussie dollars, brand new with the warranty. So there's just no purpose buying these cards that even come close to this in price when they're used, and you got to go drive out to go get them and waste your gas, waste your time. So the used GPU market is still looking like it's a complete mess where I am locally. But the good news is that we've still got that alternative avenue to get some RX 570s, especially if we want to put together some good price performance rigs if we can pick up the other parts. Now moving over to good old Gumtree, we've found here 3 different listings, one being an R7 260, 1GB. They wanted 20 bucks. I just said, okay, I'll give you $20 for this thing, since it is just a little banger. It'll go in a, say for instance, a Minecraft PC or just something entry like CSGO. There is a market for these PCs, believe it or not. So 20 bucks, that's really not going to add to the build cost at all. But then next up, we've got an i7 940, and this is 20 bucks. But the thing is, it says it comes with a main board and it's as is. So, I mean, the X58 main board, it's worth a gamble considering you're getting the i7 CPU for 20 bucks. So I just put in the $20 asking on that one too. So we'll see if they're good to go. But now the last thing we're going to focus attention on here is an i7 4770 for 150 bucks. Now straight away, my reaction is, man, this is overpriced for an old school i7 as well. And the thing is though, this is the going rate for these CPUs. Believe it or not, I'm speaking to people who actually sell these in bulk, and they say in Australia, 150 Aussie is actually the going rate for these CPUs. And it's just crazy because you've got the i3 10100 now, which is miles better, brand new, going for just a little bit more. But that's how confused the marketing is right now with the i7 versus i3. And I guarantee you, a lot of people in the market for a gaming PC who don't know much about this stuff would be like, oh, i7, and they would pick an i7 4770 over an i3 10100, even though the 10100 is a better CPU to get by a long shot. Then with all that out of the way, I've got to jump in the Yesmobile now, head up to Brisbane, because we'll go see Les, but there's also some of these other deals where pretty much all these deals are up in Brisbane, which is like an hour drive for me. But this seems to be a trend going on where I don't really find any deals locally except a R7 260. So hopefully we get the R7 260 because it's local.
Hey, Ronnie boy.
Yo, Les, what is crack-a-lackin'?
Crack-a-lackin', old dude. What is crack-a-lackin'?
Not much, mate. I'm about to head up to Brisbane, go get some deals, and it's that time of the month, so I thought I'd stop by, say hello, and of course, see what you got cracking.
Yeah, I don't have much cracking. Good looking. I mean, good cracking.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if you wanted to release the Kraken on my wallet.
Oh, my wallet's pretty big.
And now we just finished up at Les's place, and he only had one PC for us. One PC. That's all we got this month. But the good news is that we're going to go pick up some of the memory now. Both the guys on the $50 kits of memory got back to us, but the monitors as well, the 2 monitors, that is just around the corner. So we're going to go grab those 2 monitors, chuck them in the boot too. And also on the Gold Coast, someone's messaged me about a Ryzen CPU. So we're going to go pick that up as well. On the way home, there's apparently someone with a broken 1080 Ti. So I'm going to go check out that where they just want me to fix it. So we're going to chuck that in the boot as well because it's on the way home. So a little bit of synergy being created right now, but I am surprised. I think this is the least amount of tech that I've ever gotten from Les in the history of the channel. But keep in mind, the other week I went and saw him when I did a vlog. I'll put the link up here where I was getting back into the used parts hustle again after all this RTX 3000 stuff. But let's put that foot down on the gas and get on out of here. So here's all the deals that we got last night, but I did find this on the way home. This is a Ryzen 5 1600, and we got this for 100 Aussie dollars. Then there's this PC right here from Les.
He wanted 130 for it. I said, look, 110. And we sort of came to an agreement on that. I do like the HP Z210s because all you really have to do is generally pop an SSD and a graphics card, and they work pretty well. And you can get a lot of value out of these units right here. Then we got the DDR4 memory kit. So there's a 16 gigabyte kit there. That was 50 Aussie dollars. Then another two 8 gigabyte sticks of DDR4, 50 Aussie dollars. And then I went over to a viewer's house. Someone was right around the corner from where I was picking up one of these deals. Then they said, look, I've got a 1080 Ti and it's not working anymore. And I said, sure, like I'll come pick it up. We can look at it in the next Can Yes Fix It episode. And so when they were there, they said, look, do you want any older parts? And I'm like, yeah, DDR3, first gen i7s or i5s, like show us what you've got. And so he had a first gen i7 and some DDR3, which they kindly gave us for free. So big thanks for that, Jeremy. That was really appreciated. Always can't say no to free used parts, that's for sure. Then the last of the bunch is these two monitors, one Samsung, one BenQ, and we got them for 50 Aussie dollars for the pair. So not bad for 22-inch monitors, 1080p. You can never say no to monitors because you don't know when you'll need them. Even though I've stocked up on monitors, I've got a bit more than I need right now. In the future, that can quickly turn the other way where you're finding yourself needing monitors. So it's always good if you find stuff cheap enough. I've always said this in the past. If stuff's cheap enough right now, always stock up on it right now.
And so now it's day 2 of the parts hunt, and I've looked around Gumtree high and low again, and this time I've found a potential deal on a GTX 580. I've offered 40 Aussie dollars for it, and there's also a deal on 3 hard drives where they wanted $100 for it, externals, but they're all like 2 terabytes. So I put down an offer of $80 on that. So hopefully we can snag up both these deals. But in terms of GPUs, looking at the situation right now, it just seems like, at least where I'm at locally, this is going to be a continuing trend until there is something like an RTX or a GTX 3050 and perhaps AMD releases a 6000 series on the low to mid-range end to alleviate this problem. So until Nvidia or AMD decide to release a graphics card at the lower price points, entry level, we're going to see all these used graphics card prices just going pretty stupid. And pretty much this RX 570 in one picture shows what I've been talking about this whole time. This card is going on the used market more than it's going for brand new, the exact same graphics card. So it's really like, for me personally, it's just really like shaking my head, face palm, all those emotions are coming through with the GPU market right now. Now, another thing too is earlier this month, we talked about the RTX 2000 series and how much of a roller coaster it could be. Now, we've seen the RTX 3000 series launch, and I think the stock was so low that a lot of people missed out. And now sort of that demand is coming back to the RTX 2000 series, where 2080 Ti's have gone up in price now, and 2070 Supers, 2080 Supers, and those 3-tier higher cards have all gone up in price again, at least where I am locally. So I think even the retailers were giving into that sort of FOMO, sort of panic selling. And they were like, in Australia, these retailers were dropping down their prices of 2080 Ti's very low. I mean, I snagged up a 2080 Ti for 800 Aussie dollars. That for me was like risk free. And that 2080 Ti, I guess, has gained a bit of value now. I also got a 2080. I did buy a 2070 Super as well. I didn't talk about that in the last parts hunt because I got it after the used parts hunt last month. So there has been a few deals that I've come into recently that has been sort of off camera. But in terms of the market in general, prices for used stuff is generally, right now where I'm at, a little bit overpriced. People are sort of struggling. I'm struggling to get the deals this month. I think this is an indication of sort of what's to come. There's a lot of people where I am locally, a lot of resellers who are hungry for the deals, and as soon as they come up, they just get snagged. So I've got to think of a new plan going in where I definitely have to start bulk ordering stuff, even though that takes away from the element of the used parts hunt essentially, where I love getting these one-time deals and making stuff, especially on the low end, putting together these PCs that can play games for really cheap. That's sort of like, that element is just, it's really hard. It's getting a lot harder to do, and I'm realizing that looking at the potential deals on the market. Anyway, guys, in the meantime, I will update you with the remaining 2 deals and let you know in the description if I do snag them. This month's tally is pretty small. I'll put it up on the screen for you, where it's definitely the smallest parts hunt this year, and possibly one of the smallest parts hunts in the history of the channel. Though there is one more element to talk about, and that is pretty much I'm just exhausted from all the RTX 3000 testing, because we tested all resolutions like 1080p, 1440p, 4K, and overclocking, undervolting. All that stuff does take a lot of time. And then of course, when you're putting all these numbers into spreadsheets after that, for me personally, it gets to the stage where you're just looking at so many different numbers, you're like, whoa, like it's information overload, essentially, when you're trying to put it all together. So that was a big one this month. Other than that, I do like testing the new stuff as well, especially on the RTX 3000 line, because it does give us a basis for how much the used stuff should be priced at. So right now I'm just seeing the graphics card prices are just all across the board are overpriced. And again, I'm pleading to Nvidia or AMD to hurry up and release something on the low end. And maybe with the new Navi cards, AMD does just that. Just like when they released the RX 470 and 480 originally, it was met with like a bit of confusion. People were like, okay, shouldn't they be releasing the high end first? But now in hindsight, I actually appreciate that move so much more. And I wish AMD would do it again with like a 6600 XT or something like that. That'd be really cool. And hopefully they can do that and fix the used GPU market problems. And with all that out of the way, do let us know your favorite deal of this month. There isn't a whole lot to pick from, so do pick wisely for us in the comments below. But we do have the question of the day here, which comes from Dennis Sovar, and they ask, I bought a Ryzen, I guess 1200 for $70 new, good deal, question mark. So this, I honestly, personally for 70, if that's USD, I'd say it's not that good of a deal at all. Aussie dollars, it's okay. You saw here we picked up a Ryzen 5 1600 for 100 Aussie dollars. That for me personally is a much better deal, because you're getting that 6 cores, 12 threads as opposed to 4 cores, 4 threads, which I think a lot of people nowadays do want the 4 cores, 8 threads as sort of like a baseline minimum. Yes, 4 cores, 4 threads will still play games fine, but you're kind of just leaving yourself there with a very limited uptick. So mediocre deal at best. If we're talking Aussie dollars, I'd pay around 50 Aussie dollars for a Ryzen 3 1200. That's my personal max. And of course, how do I price that up at 50 Aussie dollars? That's all got to do with the rest of the components in the build. What balance are you looking for? How much are you looking to reflip the build? What price performance are you going to get out of it? And of course, what the market is looking for. That's the biggest one. What the market demands is what you should always be trying to satisfy. Though that's probably a different story for a different day, because there's the ultimate thing that you got to factor in, and that is your time. If you're going to go out and do PC reselling and it takes you, say, 5 hours to put together a build and you're only making $100, could have you made more money just working some other job? So there's all those factors that you got to put together and just ask it, is it worth it? Best question of all time. Is it worth it? Is this video worth a free like? You got to give me a free like. Toss me one of them, and I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.
Hey, look what I got here.
What's that?
It's a PC, and I paid a fortune for it.
How much did you get it for?
I picked it up down the tip.
So you paid nothing for it?
Exactly right, yeah.
So is this going to be your new PC, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to need a CPU and some memory, but yeah, we'll patch this thing up for you. And you'll have a brand new PC from 2008.
Wow.